Hello, my fellow YouTubers. This is Be All You Can Be with Brittany Marie. I hope that your day is going swell. I hope that you are continuing to be encouraged to stay on your new Live It lifestyle by watching our videos that we're presenting to you. We have a topic that we're going to talk to you about today, and it's going to be about improper food combining. This is in reference to the last video that we did, and if you haven't watched it, I suggest that you watch it so that you know how to properly combine your food when you're eating so you can get good digestion. Right? We want good digestion. We don't want indigestion. But before I get started on that, I want to remind you that God has designed our bodies to be able to heal itself. That means that there is no cure, there is no quick fix. But if you're in need of a miraculous healing by Him, then He is more than capable of doing that. But what we're going to do, because He's given us bodies that work and feed off of this earth, we are going to do our best to not suppress our bodies from being able to do exactly that, which is heal itself. Which brings me into our topic of improper food combining. Because when we improperly combine our food, we inherit indigestion, right? But through our last video that we talked about, when we talked about proper food combining, we talked about a variety of different food types, right? You have your sweet fruits, your acid fruits, your subacids, your starchy or low starch or high starch. You have your proteins and you have your fats. Okay, our body focuses on one food type at a time to digest, not multiple food types at a time to digest, only one. So if they're not properly combined, then we inherit indigestion. Indigestion is when you have created in your body an atmosphere of difficulty for your food to be digested easily. Now it's being digested difficultly. Okay, the foods that we take in, when we take them in, please let them be whole, raw, natural foods as much as possible. But when we take in those whole, raw, natural foods, those are filled with food enzymes. Okay, the food enzymes that are in our food help to digest every type of food that we eat. This is why it's important to learn about the food types. So it digests our proteins, our fats, our fibers, even the dairy that we intake, and the sugars. And we need those, right? Those enzymes are your workers. That's the life that's in the food. And if we want to live, we need to make sure that there's life in our food, right? To create that atmosphere of living, metabolism, life in reference to, I want you guys to be on a healthy path so that your body can heal itself from anything that may have entered into it. Okay, when we have food enzymes, and then we also have metabolic enzymes. Our metabolic enzymes take our nutrients that come from our food and they put them into our bloodstream, and it enters into our muscles, our tissues, our lungs, our glands, our bones, all of those things that have been created to help keep our body clean. It also breaks down the fats that we take in, our metabolic enzymes do. And it also not only take down the fats, but it also helps to get rid of any toxic material that may have entered into our digestive system in any form or fashion. So it has a specific job. We don't want our metabolic enzymes to have to create enzymes through our pancreas to get our food through the system, right? Because our body has a job to do. So if we take that away from our take the job of healing, keeping our body clean and free of all these toxins, and we prohibit that, and we give it another job to do, well, it's going to stop doing that, and then it's going to use our pancreas to focus on digestive enzymes, okay, that we're taking from our food because we incompatibly put them together, or we could have cooked them as well. So if we don't take an enzyme supplement, and put the enzyme back into the food some way, shape, or another by an enzyme supplement, then it's going to use up our metabolic enzymes to digest the food. Okay, and we don't want to create an atmosphere of division. We want the food that we eat to help flow through our system. And then when we put two different foods together, one may dominate the other. It could come from, one needing this much acid, but the other type of food can only take so much acid. That's before it's completely dead. And that acid will now poured into it to be able to digest this specific food type has killed this food that was in here. So again, that food is going to be digested, but that was killed, well, it can't move if it doesn't have an enzyme. So our metabolic enzymes is going to create food enzymes, taken away from our healing potential over here, and come and digest that through our system. So yeah, it's a lot of division. So we want to make sure that we create an atmosphere of where everything works together, and it works together when we properly combine our foods. So now let's talk about what foods we combine that are incompatible. So here we are, our improper foods to combine or pair together. We have here, remember the food types. This is an acid, and this is also an acid. But when we put a starch with them, this is improper. You do not want to combine these two together, okay? So a starch, and acid do not combine. That gets the thumbs down. We have protein. Those are walnuts, by the way. Protein. And then some pumpkin seeds. Now remind you, this is just a small portion to give you guys an idea of what improperly combines. So a protein and another protein. Proteins are already hard to digest. It requires a lot of acid. So we want to keep it as simple as possible. And this is not a good food combination. Do one protein at a time. Okay. And I know you're laughing. Don't laugh at my chicken, but that's chicken. Okay. We don't have chicken in here. Okay. So we have protein and then fat. So say it was an avocado right here. I wish I had an avocado. Or protein and oils, or proteins and yeah, you got your olive oil or your vegetable oil or your avocado. Yes, avocado is raw, but it is also a fat. It's not a good combination with the two. Okay, protein and a fat is a thumbs down, not a good combination together. Okay, so now we take away our protein and our fat. That was a terrible combination. that will cause indigestion. We will put a sweet or sugar, shall we, with a starch. This is also a thumbs down, a bad combination. So starches and sweets do not go together. And again, if you have not watched the video of proper food combining, I suggest that you do, because it's also a list of what is a sweet, what food types are a sweet, and what foods are an acid, a subacid, all of those things. Not just what I'm showing you, because of course we have a variety of food that God has blessed us with to be able to eat off of. Okay, so our next one will be protein, some more walnuts, and a starch. So this is also it's not a good combination. It's incompatible. This gets the thumbs down. Okay. And then we'll move on. We have a protein and an acid. Oh, not this one. Wait a minute. Seeds go well with acids, but when it comes to proteins and acids, we're going to refer to fleshly meat with an acid. It's not a good combination. They do not pair well together. They will cause indigestion. So no acid or fleshly protein should be combined together. Sugar and protein. Okay, neither one of these should be combined together. And eventually you'll begin to realize when you go on more of a raw diet that you start to put this stuff in your mouth and your body, you become more aware of your senses, and you see your body really doesn't want those two in there anyway. And it'll give you immediate signs afterwards. Sometimes it's gas. And then we'll move on to, well, I guess I can say this too, sugar and nuts, sweets and proteins as well. These are also a bad combination, not just in the fleshly meat for a protein, but a seed and a sweet are not good together. And last, we don't have that as well. Maybe I should have had it in the picture, like this, like the chicken, but milk. So say if milk was right here, milk, if it's going to be ingested, should only be ingested alone. But we don't recommend that milk is ingested, because our body does not carry that lactose enzyme that it used to carry as much of, that it carried a lot of when we were infants and we were nursing and we were getting our breast milk from our mother. Okay, that's what that lactose enzyme was in our bellies for, in our bodies, being able to, or it was in the milk as well. It's full of enzymes. It was easy for us to be able to digest. But now that we're grown, we're maturing, we're older now, okay? Our body is not growing anymore in that aspect of from a baby to an infant, to a toddler, to an adolescent, then to an adult. We're fully grown now. So the amount of protein that may have been recommended for us to take in when we were babes, it wasn't that much of a difference compared to now. It was a little bit more, but we didn't need that amount of protein anymore. But I know we're talking about the lactose enzyme. Our body just does not have it anymore because we don't drink milk anymore. We now come into eating whole raw foods. We have teeth in our mouth. We're able to chew it up and we're able to grind it up, okay, and digest it that way. We don't have to suck on anything. most of our water will come from our whole raw natural foods. So you'll find as well that your water intake, your desire for more water because you were hydrated once before, or dehydrated once before, you're not anymore, because if you continue to eat whole raw natural unprocessed food, then it already entails the amount of water that's in it is clean and it's good for you. It's full of it. So yeah, stay in mind of what again is improper and watch the video on what is proper. And that way we'll create an atmosphere of healing into our bodies. Because again, there is no quick fix, there is no cure. You are the cure, and you create that atmosphere by what you ingest. It's not just about food, but right now that's the segment that we're speaking on, is food. So again, this is Be All You Can Be with Brittany Marie. I hope that I have informed you and helped and encouraged you to go just a little bit further, because I know that you're able to. You woke up this morning, you're alive and you're well, so you're able to press. Your body is telling you, I'm able. So I know that you can, and I encourage you to stay motivated, stay tuned in to the next topics that are getting ready to come up. That way we can be educated and we know what we're getting ourselves into, and we can make a conscious decision whether or not we want to go down that pathway. But I encourage you to be on that new live-it lifestyle and to stay on that pathway. Okay, again, like and subscribe onto this channel, comment, leave questions, things of that sort. I really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day.